All right. So you got your recording message in progress. You want to hit got it if you haven't already. And welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're at. I'm assuming everybody's either on the East Coast or somewhere in between or in Arizona. We have a fabulous show for you today. I did a similar event back 4 or 5 months ago, and I thought, it's always great to have someone else. Plus, we have this instrument to show. They're so limited, and I'll tell you why. Today's event, the theme is called Unveiling of a Legend. And the reason for that is the unveiling of a legend kind of insinuates a new product. And so technically, we're going to show you a new product. And the reason why it's considered new is because they're so rare and hard to get that when we get one, it's almost like having a new product. So let me do a quick explanation, then I'll turn over to Sean to do the rest. It's going to be a fun musical show and a great presentation. So back in 2015, there was a time in Fletcher's world where we were awaiting a high-end model, and I believe it was called the Marquis, 2015. But up until that point, our inventory was such that we were kind of, for lack of better words, suffering on the high-end models. And what Lowrey did is they took a handful of our instruments and they allowed us to do what's called a full software conversion of the Lowrey Legends that we had in stock. Now, at the time, we only had a handful of them, but what they did is they allowed us to take those models and provided us with a software that converted them into an instrument called the Legend Supreme. Now, the significance of that is this. The organs that are above the Prestige or the Legend are Prestige, then it goes Liberty, then it goes Imperial, then it goes Sterling, and then it goes Patriot. So quite a few steps up. All of those models I just mentioned were all flagship models at one point. So the significance of the Legend Supreme was with this software conversion was just on the handful that we had. That's a very key thing to remember. Was the software took sounds, additional new presets, and new styles from the Prestige, Imperial, Sterling, and Patriot, and they put them into the Legend. They added them to the Legend, and hence became the Legend Supreme. And so without further ado, Mr. Sean Maloney is going to unveil the Lowrey Legend Supreme. Give it up, virtual applause, everybody, or an actual applause. Yay, Sean Maloney.
Woo. All right. Well, welcome, everybody. I'm super excited. I get to show off one of the instruments in the line that doesn't get nearly enough attention. Because as he said, where it kind of falls in the line and all the upgrades that we've done to it, the Legend is just fantastic. And I'm going to play a lot of great music for you, just entertain you, have a good time, and you'll kind of see why as we go along. I'm going to start with some Latin music, but not just any Latin music, some contemporary Latin, some conga Latin from Gloria Estefan and Miami Sound Machine. So let's do this. I'm going to actually leave this camera on. Here we go. Drum solo. I'm gonna hit this touch bar. Thank you. So that was Gloria Estefan and Miami Sound Machine with Conga is the song, and that's one of the newest rhythms. As Robert said, some of these styles were taken from other high-end instruments. That one was actually from the Patriot, so one of the top-of-the-line instruments here. As you noticed, actually, while I was playing, this is really cool to point out. You might have noticed when I had that brass section on the lower right here, where I kind of did a little call and response here and there. And I had full harmonies on that, so it wasn't just one brass instrument. I had a whole brass section playing, and it had a lower harmony on. So over here, what's nice is you have harmonies, but I know some people maybe on the SU series, or if you have EZ or EY, you can really only have harmonies on the top, which is great. But now I can have harmonies on the bottom and really fill in the sound no matter which keyboard I'm playing on. So I love that. I got to have a big brass section kind of following my vocals there. So let's go to another style that I like a lot. This one some of you might have, some of you might not. One thing that's great about the Virtual Orchestra series and the A series is they added a new kind of feature called pianist and guitarist rhythms. What's great about this one is they implement a lot of those. So you'll hear, as I play, some of them are very piano-based or guitar-based. There's a rhythm in here called Southern Three-Quarter. It's one of my all-time favorites because it makes me sound like a piano player. If you're like me and maybe all you wanted to do all your life was just play the piano so well, and like me, I didn't get to it, I didn't get around to it, but now I can sound like a professional piano player just with one finger chords. So here, let me kind of switch cameras here, and you can see from this angle. I'm going to keep it really simple here and just play one finger chords and two finger chords, and I'm just going to play with my professional piano player. You can just picture yourself on a stage in front of millions of people. Here we go. Love that. Woo! Beautiful. As you notice at the very end, you see this thing here? Ooh, I love this feature. This is only on some of the top line instruments, so not too many. This is a great feature to have. You can use it anytime. I'll probably use it here and there throughout the show, but as you go along, all you have to do is slide your finger across, and it plays whatever chord you have on this hand, so it never plays a wrong note. You can hit just certain parts of it, or run your finger all the way across. Just a really fun feature that you don't have to know music for. You just use it, and it sounds good. Who doesn't like that, right? So I'm going to use it throughout the show here and there. But first, let me show you one of my all-time favorite rhythms in any of these instruments. There is a rhythm in the foxtrot button. So right when I touch foxtrot, poof, right on the screen, I've got several foxtrot rhythms to choose from. And there's a new one called Smooth Foxtrot. This one's great because it features a lot of great sounds in the rhythm, and the right hand gives you a lot of great sounds. You actually have Benny Goodman's original clarinet in the background and on your melody. Really cool. I'm going to play a song called Begin the Beguine, which is what this rhythm was made for. And it's actually originally by Artie Shaw, is the song, and then this is the Benny Goodman arrangement of it, kind of designed by Bill Curry, if you know who that is. So here we go. Add the drum variation, go to the lower, I don't know if you could hear me snap when I did the ending, but it just sounds great. That's a really fun rhythm to play with. As you notice throughout that, a couple times you can't quite see it in the video maybe, but there's a black line running across this. You have a touch bar. Some of you may have that, some of you may not. They've enhanced it on the A series here, so it's a really, really easy to use touch bar. You barely have to touch it. I was playing on one of our SU organs the other day, and I was showing somebody how to use it, and I was like, oh, I guess I got to press it a little harder. Those ones you have to press a little hard. It's okay. But here, what's really nice is I just barely touch it. I can use one finger, touch anywhere on this bar, and it'll do the fill-ins. So as I was playing that, you might have heard, let me go back to it real quick. There's your rhythm. When I touch the touch bar, does a fill-in, and if I hold it down, it'll just keep going. So it's a really cool feature. While you're playing, you can just reach one thumb down if you want, or the whole hand, or use your right hand in between melody parts. Easy enough. It just makes it easy so you don't have to use your foot. We have a lot of people who, if you have your foot in the little hole in there, and you kick to the right, you get volume issues. You might kick it forward too much and it blows your eardrums out. This is just a safe way of doing it. You don't blow any eardrums or anything like that. So that's the touch bar. Great feature. So I'm going to move forward here and do a style of music. It's one of my favorites. It's called country music. Who likes country music? Let me see your hands. I see 2 hands. Cool. Okay, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I see a bunch more hands now. All right. So we're going to do country music, but not any country. We're going to feature a signature style that's built into here. This came from the higher-end instruments as well and put on this A-Series virtual orchestra. It's made for Johnny Cash, and it's called Ring of Cash. You can kind of guess what song might sound good with it. Ring of Fire, yeah. So I'm going to play that song. And I'm going to make a couple adjustments, and I'll tell you why and how I'm going to do it a little later. So let me make a couple adjustments here. I like to play it in a certain key. I'm changing it up to G, which is the original key. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit, take out some of these background guys, and here we go. So here is Johnny Cash and Ring of Fire. So let me switch to this so you can see a little better. Woo! Here we go. One finger. Original trumpet section. Here we go. Altar style. You can hear the background change. sounded just like the original. It's really cool. I get excited when I get to play with some of my favorite artists. So that's one of my favorites, Johnny Cash. I pressed quite a few buttons during that and before. And let me explain that. What's really nice about having an instrument in this series, the A series, or anything with a USB, you can't quite see it there, but I have a little port where I can put a USB. And what's the benefit of that? Anyone? I'll say it. You can save your work. That's the benefit. So if I like to play that song, what I did is I said, I want to play Ring of Fire. I changed the key. I used the transposer. I changed it to the key of G, which is the original. I sped it up. I put on the sound that I like, and I think I turned on a couple other sounds throughout it. What's great is if I have a USB and what are called bank presets, I can save it, so then I don't have to do that ever again. I just touch the buttons once, save it, and then it's like having your own song setups, kind of saved into a USB. So it's a really, really great feature. And I'm going to show you one thing I've been doing this whole time, too, is I've been utilizing this touch screen a lot. And what's really nice, and you can't quite see it from there, is one of these buttons down here on the bottom left. I've been kind of cheating. Well, not cheating, but there's a button down here. It says Custom Number 3. Now, they're called custom buttons because, well, you can customize what they do. But what they normally do, this one way down here, if I touch it, it brings up a window on the screen. And it tells me exactly what sounds I have available in these 10 numbers. It'll also give me information on when I used these buttons over here. I have these white buttons. They say category presets. And what are category presets? Well, they're just sounds on the upper and lower right that just go by category. So whatever types of sounds you want. You have country sounds on the top and bottom, big band sounds, and it just fills in all 10 of these with those sounds. If I go to the More button on this particular instrument, they've added a whole bunch. You can't see them from where you're at. That's okay. One thing they do that's just great is they actually back up your bank preset. So if you have A, B, C, and D, some people say, well, what happens if I save things in those? I lose the original sounds that were in there when I bought the instrument. Well, not anymore, because they're all backed up on your screen. So if you save, Johnny Cash into your A bank, which you can do, you lose all those sounds that are in there. There are great Lowrey organ sounds in here. But now if I go to my categories and touch Bank A on the screen, I have all those Lowrey organ sounds once again. They've also added a lot of other great categories. These are really, really unique to this instrument too. This one, for example, they're called Supreme. So Supreme Island is one, Supreme Mellow, Supreme Modern, and Organ. So I'm going to touch the Mellow button and just show you kind of with the Easy button how nice this is to just put on a preset, and I just go look at the screen with my number 3 button. I just look at what's in all of these numbers here. This is one of my favorite features of a touchscreen instrument, and especially the A series, because it actually tells you what's on the top and the bottom. So if I look at my number 0 position here, it says Mellow Electric Piano / Octave Sax on the bottom. So I can just go through some of these and play mellow music. So we can start with something like this. Ooh, and I got something mellow down here. Next number. Let's go to something a little bigger. mosquito flying right in my face this whole time. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but it's driving me nuts. So I'm just gonna go like that. So let's keep going here. You could find all these great sounds in the Supreme Mellow. So those are just some examples as I just press through those buttons and I sound good automatically. You can play them. I just played them with the easy button and it sounds nice. Or I can pick a rhythm and still have those sounds to put on top of them. So some great features here. I'm going to go into some more rhythmic stuff. Let's do a ballad here. This is my favorite ballad in these instruments. This is a signature style as well. Taken from, I think, the Sterling or Patriot, and it's called Wonderful World. And now, what's really great about having these slightly larger instruments is, this is nice because it's kind of in between. It's not super huge. It doesn't wrap around. You know, you've seen some of those, like where it has buttons kind of all the way on the side, where you look in here and you're going, trying to find the right button, right? This is nice because it doesn't wrap all the way around. It just, all the buttons are right in the center here. Doesn't go around, which is perfect for me. But what they do with these larger ones too is they have studio monitor speakers. So some of these signature styles that are made specifically for these artists, they use a lot of stereo spread type stuff, so you can hear things much better than a lot of the smaller instruments. So here's Wonderful World with Louis Armstrong. My full harmony on the bottom again. Now I'm going to look at the screen, find a new sound. There's Louis. Beautiful. It's just one of my favorite orchestras to play with because that's Louis Armstrong's real original band. Now, what happens if you want to play one of those signature styles, but you don't want to play that song? Well, that's okay. All these rhythms work for many songs. You know, that rhythm in particular, I used to play dozens of songs. There's another one in here that they put in. Gosh, I love this one. There's a rhythm called Supreme Shuffle, and it's actually made for Diana Ross and the Supremes, which sounds great, but I don't know those songs. So here's what the intro sounds like. and you're supposed to play one of the Supreme songs. But what I like to do is either use introduction number 2, because I have a second introduction on here, and it'll make it sound not like a specific song, and then I might play something completely different. So let's try this one here. You might have to sing along with this one here a little bit. Tequila. One more time. Tequila. Just a great swing shuffle beat. And that was using intro number 2 and ending number 2, so it didn't sound like the Supremes exactly. You can sound like something else. That was Tequila. I'll do one more here, and I just kind of also want to show kind of how versatile these rhythms are. There's a ragtime button on here. You have a lot of ragtime type styles, and this is my favorite type of ragtime music. It's called Gypsy Rag is the rhythm name. I love this style. And it gives you kind of a Django Reinhardt and Stefan Grappelli sound, if you know who those are. French jazz artists here. But this is a great rhythm to use for almost anything. I'll play a couple songs. I'll play what I think it sounds really good with, and then I'm going to do an experiment and see if this works. It's something I didn't plan. Here we go. This one sounds great. This is Ain't Misbehavin'. Now I'm going to try something neat here. I'm actually going to put up some music for me, and this was not prepared at all. I just printed this because I've been wanting to learn this song, and you know what? I need it a little bit closer here, so I'm going to pull out this extension here, which has lights on it conveniently. Isn't that nice? And I'm going to play a Beatles song with this rhythm here. So this song's called Michelle. That's a Paul McCartney song. Here we go. Let's try it. Ooh. That sounds great. Now let's change to a different setting here. Ending. Love that one. I just tried that. I started looking at this song the other day thinking I want to play this at some point, and I need a good rhythm to use. Well, I found it. Gypsy Rag. That sounds fantastic. I'm going to add that to my repertoire there. So, that's all I got. I'm going to maybe play a finale in a second here, but I wanted to share some information with you and see if
Maybe you'll play a finale?
I know you'll have me play a finale, so I got one ready. One of my favorites.
Maybe?
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
Folks, what do you think? Should he play a finale after this? Even the people that I don't see on the screen are nodding their head. I can feel them nodding.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going to screen share something?
Yeah, let me show you this, and let me just where the legend falls in the line, and I'll have Robert talk about that a little bit. So we'll start with the high end here.
So what you're seeing on the screen there, folks, I mentioned earlier that the line of the models above the legend, back in the time frame that I told you, this was 2015 or so. The Lowrey Patriot was the top of the line at that time, if we had one in stock, and it retailed for $71,995, $72,000. And then below that model, another top of the line flagship model, $64,995. Oh, wait a second. It's becoming more affordable now because the Lowrey Imperial is only $59,995. And then, of course, the Lowrey Prestige has a retail of $39,995, about $40,000. All of the models on the screen that you just saw represented all of the models that were above the Lowrey Legend. So Prestige, Imperial, Sterling, and what have you. And the Lowrey Legend was the start of that. Mm-hmm. So like I said earlier, what happened in that time frame was we were in a kind of a standstill waiting for a new top-of-the-line model to come out. And what Lowrey did is they allowed us to take this beautiful instrument called the Legend and convert it into what's called the Legend Supreme. If you remember what I said earlier, there were only a handful, literally about 5 or 6 of these models that were converted, and there's a couple reasons for that. One, that's all we had in stock. 2, that's all we were allowed to do. And so having only 6 of these over the years, they're very, very hard to get. They're very rare. And part of the reason why we decided to do the show today is because we happen to have one in Mesa there. And Sean wanted to really show it off. So the question that most people have is, well, how much is the Lowrey Legend? That's a good question, right? I see some heads nodding. Well, that is a great question. And I'm going to tell you, it's less than any of the price tags that you saw in the other models. However, you get a lot of the style, sounds, and features from those models. Now, let that sink in. Less money, but you're getting all of the stuff from those top-of-the-line models. So having said that, what I'm going to do is encourage you to contact your personal assistants and ask. And here's why. We have one in Arizona, and I think the last inventory I saw, there is one in Florida. So they're very hard to get, and they represent a phenomenal value. So I'm going to insist that the personal assistants at least contact you, or you can contact them first, whichever comes first, and at least find out and keep an open mind to the wonderful opportunity we have while we have them. So with that said, Mr. Sean promised a grand finale at this event. So what do you have for us, Sean? Hopefully it's good.
Well, I actually have one of the most popular, in-demand rhythm styles. It was actually introduced on the Patriot and brought onto the Legend Supreme here. So I'm going to play it. This is the Circle of Life, which features the new rhythm style. The Circle of Lions is the name of it. So I love this style. You can make it sound really big if you want. If you play it nice and loud, boost all the volumes, it sounds huge. So this is a nice African style that you can't get anywhere else. Here we go. This is a long introduction, so just listen to it and enjoy. Hope you can hear all the animal noises in there. All these animals are built into here. They're just very small. Go to the lower. Nice and big sound. Wow. Love that one.
Let's give Mr. Sean Maloney a big round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
Unmute and say, hoo-hoo.
Yay.
And let's give the Lowrey Legend Supreme a big round of applause. Woohoo! So, folks, hope you enjoyed today's show. Contact your personal assistants. They may call you. Yeah. Let's see who can call who first. Hurry while we still have one available. Oh, look at that beautiful.
While supplies last, yes.
While supplies last, for sure. So thank you very much. And thank you again, Sean, for such a wonderful demonstration on the beautiful Lowrey Legend.
You're very welcome. My pleasure.
Have a wonderful, joyous afternoon.
Thank you.
I shall do that.